Greetings, everyone. My name is Stephen Neely. I'm here with my co-host, Veronica Bileski, and we are so thrilled to welcome everybody to the virtual Dalcroze meetup. I think this is meetup number 82, which is
Well,
so fun. We've done this 82 times where we, over the last 4 years, where we get together with friends, new and old, from near and far, to talk about all sorts of things. Today, we get to talk about Dalcroze and older adults, which I'm really excited about, and we have some amazing presenters, guests to tell us a little bit about their work. Before we get to the main events, we have a tradition at the meetups where we like to meet each other just for a minute. We don't have too long to take with it, but I'm going to make um, uh, 4 rooms here, and I'm going to send you all to a breakout room. And when you get to the breakout room, we hope that you will introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're located and who do you teach. And if you don't have students, that's okay. Tell us something about yourself. But where are you located? Who do you teach? You've only got 2.5 minutes. It's very fast. So you can't talk for long. You just have to say who you are. And then I'm going to call you back and I'll give you a 60-second countdown. So when you see the note, you still have 1 minute till you come back. Ready, set, go. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you got a chance just to say hi for a minute and see the range of people that we're here. We have people from, I think, all over the world, and so it's such a lovely thing to have everybody together. Veronica just put the agenda for today in the chat, so if you choose to click on that, you can kind of follow our order of events. Um, we want to remind you that there are some upcoming events. All of the VDM dates are in the Google Doc at the link, or you can always subscribe to our calendar, which we encourage. If you subscribe to the VDM calendar, it will tell you all the days and convert it into your time zone. So you don't have to do the math and wonder who has daylight savings time or what is happening in Pittsburgh and how do you convert Pittsburgh to Japan. So you can just subscribe to the calendar. It always comes up in your day and your time. And some of the great things that are coming up, Anthony Molinaro and I have one more live session for our short course this week on Wednesday. If you missed the first 2 sessions, you certainly can still register, catch us live for the third session, and get the recordings for the first two. And if the timing for any of these things, anything that we ever do at the VDM, if the timing is not good for you, we always record it. And we have many people who will register knowing that they will not show up live. They just want to watch the recordings. And so the short courses and the master classes you can always register for, and you can go back and watch on any of the old ones. We've got something like 40 more than 40 events that are archived, including Jerrison Harper's class and Francoise Lombard. We've done all sorts of good things over the years that you can go back and watch. So Anthony and I are finishing our short course this week, and we've been talking about Make It Music, which I happen to have a copy of it. Look at that. We just wrote a book, and it's a pedagogy toolkit for anyone, and so consider joining us for that. Coming up next is Adriana Alsch's masterclass, and then remaining this semester, Ruth Alperson is doing a short course talking about lesson planning with children. Fumiko Hondo Bauer is doing a master class focusing on the little littles, the baby and mommy and me kinds of classes. And then our dear friend Francoise, who is with us today, will be finishing out our this particular season with a three-class short course that she'll be able to tell us about as that gets going. So we hope that
Francoise,
you'll
would you
look
like
ahead at
to?
the calendar and register for as much as you can. Veronica?
Francoise, do you want to tell us a little bit about the short course?
Oh, you're muted.
Yes, it will be about improvisation, but very simple things. I would like it to be really accessible for everybody who just needs or wants to play the keyboard, well, mainly. But I will do 3 sessions on improvisation.
Super. I think we're up to our event. Veronica, can I hand it over to you?
So we're really delighted to have Caio and Anne-Claire and Francoise talk about seniors and teaching this population. And we're so lucky to have people really from all over the world sharing. And as we were talking in our breakout room, it can be so lonely sometimes to do what we do because there's not a lot of people around us. And what I love about these meetups is that we get to hear, oh, someone, thousands of miles away is actually like thinking about the same things or struggling with something similar, or maybe I have an idea for them. And so we're just so grateful to our presenters for being willing to do that, and to provide a space for all of us to share our own experiences as well. We're going to go in order. So Caio, we'll start with you, and I'll give you a 1-minute warning when your 5 minutes are almost up. And then we'll go straight to Anne-Claire, and I'll also kind of plan on speaking for about 5 minutes, and I'll give you a 1-minute warning. I'm not very harsh, so if you need another minute, it's okay. And then we'll go straight to Francoise. And after all those presentations are over, we can go on to our discussion, and then presenters can share more, or participants can listen or ask questions or share their experiences as well. So let's go ahead, Caio.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and good evening from Japan. So, at first, I would like to say thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful meeting. And today, I would like to introduce our society, the Society of Dark Rose Eurythmics for Seniors in Japan. And maybe, can you give me a host? Because I would like to share the screen.
You have access. You can share.
Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. I start. So the Society of Dark Rose Eurythmics for Seniors in Japan was founded by me in 2019 as the first organization in Japan to study the effectiveness of dark rose eurythmics in the elderly in Japan. There are two main goals of our society. The first is to study the changes and effectiveness of dark rose eurythmics for the elderly by having dark rose international license holders actually practice dark rose eurythmics so as to establish and promote dark rose eurythmics in a way appropriate for seniors in Japan. Secondly, to explore effective teaching method of dark rose eurythmics for seniors and to develop high-quality instructors. Currently, we have about 180 members around the country. Most of our members are eurythmics teachers and music teachers who are interested in teaching dark rose eurythmics to seniors. Our main activities are conducting weekly dark rose eurythmics lessons for the elderly, organizing courses on eurythmics for seniors several times a year, organizing study groups for members several times a year, as well as meeting among members to share ideas. published by annual journals for members regarding lesson observation on Dalcroze Eurythmics for seniors. Implementation of the Dalcroze Eurythmics teacher training program for seniors. I conduct 1 hour of Dalcroze Eurythmics once a week for a group of seniors. With this class, the society documents their progress and changes as well as exploring different teaching approaches. Also, we offer lesson observations and practical training sessions for members who wish to become certified instructors. We organize courses 3 to 4 times a year around Japan to promote Dalcroze Eurythmics for the elderly among the Japanese public. The contents of the courses include basic knowledge about the elderly, the Dalcroze method, and its effectiveness for the elderly based on the research in Geneva. We also introduce senior lessons conducted by the society and allow them to participate and experience some Dalcroze Eurythmics exercises for the elderly. We invite various instructors 3 to 4 times a year to hold study sessions for our members. The study groups that have been conducted so far are lectures, teaching methodology, and group discussions by me or other Dalcroze international license holders who gives Dalcroze Eurythmics for seniors. Lectures by physical and occupational therapists on balance abilities on the elderly. Lectures by caregivers on Japan's care system, the lives of the elderly, and dementia. We would like to continue to invite people from other fields besides Dalcroze Eurythmics related to the elderly so as to learn from different angles. Every 3 months, we compile detailed descriptions of the lesson content, the objective of each exercise, and the circumstances of the participants and instructors at that time into an e-book, which is published for members. 4 books have been published so far. This program started in January of last year. It's a 1-year program for senior society members and Dalcroze international license holders who are interested in teaching Dalcroze Eurythmics to seniors. And the goal is to train teachers who can apply the Dalcroze method to teach the elderly. In Japan, Eurythmics is strongly associated with early childhood education, and there are very few instructors who can apply the Dalcroze method to seniors. Additionally, both the elderly and the general public tend to view Eurythmics as something meant for children, making it difficult to become established in Japan. Therefore, by providing our society's Dalcroze Eurythmics teacher training program for seniors to Japanese Dalcroze teachers, we hope that many Dalcroze teachers will be able to give Dalcroze Eurythmics lessons for seniors in their own communities, and that we can create a society in Japan which many elderly people can encounter Dalcroze Eurythmics and become revitalized again. The contents of the program are as described there. Program participants will do the 5 things in a year from January to December at their own pace. Last year, 10 Dalcroze international license holders have participated and completed in this program. This year, we have 5 participants. In this way, as the number of instructors who can apply Dalcroze to seniors increases, the chances of elderly people in Japan encountering Dalcroze will also rise, leading to the establishment of Dalcroze Eurythmics for seniors as a future prospect. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, Kayo.
Thank you very much.
Really beautiful to watch that. Thank you for sharing. I think, Anne Claire, here you are. Are you ready to share? You'll have to unmute yourself.
Remets du son.
I'm very sorry. It was a wind, and I was lost. It's
okay.
my
It is your
It's-
turn right now, if you are ready. Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm very high in the mountains.
All
So-
good.
Okay, so the question today is, how is it possible to do Dalcroze rhythmic with diminished cognition or diminished movement? And for me, it's a very important subject because it's precious in the life of these people we touch with this kind of lesson. And so how is it possible? There is a very important thing. It's the music, because in the center of this lesson with old people, this is the music, because the music touch the primary brain. So this is very the emotional brain, and the music doesn't go in the cognitive part first. The music goes directly in the emotional brain, and this is why we can touch people very old, or people that have some problem with cognition, or they have Alzheimer, or this kind of things. And I think it's possible to do the Dalcroze way with these people, even they are sitting, or even they have problem with the cognition, because of the music, And if we follow the Dalcroze process, so the first thing we do is to feel the music instinctively. So this is why it's possible to do with people that are very old or they have problem, because the music goes directly in their body, in their emotional part, and they can have joy, and they can move, and they can be connected with the music and with the world finally. And this is why I'm very passionate about that, because for me it's precious at an age where we can maybe imagine they are not able to move, they are not able to do a lot of things, and because of this Dalcroze moment in the week, they can be alive, they can be in link with music, with emotion, with other people. And this is why I think we are lucky to do that and to share this. And this is because of improvisation. We have to say that it's not possible to give this kind of lesson without improvisation. For me, it seems to me very important, because you can adapt, we can guide some reaction exercise, you can give the way to memory, to put the memory out again, and we can accompany movement, we can catch melody. People like to sing, for example, but this is because we are able to adapt and to play music spontaneously on the moment, And for me, this is why Dalcroze has a big rule. I don't know, it's the right word in this age of the life, because we can give some way to be alive at the moment because of the music. And I have to say that when I prepare this kind of lesson, I don't think that people are old, or they are sitting, or they have problem with cognition. For me, it's like normal lesson at the beginning. If not, I think the risk is to reduce the ideas, you know. So in my head, I have a Dalcroze lesson to share, and after that I adapt, you know. And I think it's very important. If not, we can feel like, okay, this is old people, I will do a little rhythmic. But no, for me this is a big rhythmic, a big Dalcroze way, because they need that. And we can share a lot of joy, of love, of life, of a lot of things, of fun maybe, because we are in this very strong link with music and movement and heart. And for me, it's the center of this discussion with seniors lesson. And I have to, I don't know if I have time, but
One more minute, please.
1 minute, okay. So the very precious thing to in this kind of lesson is to know we have two groups of person. We have people that have very big problem with cognition, logical thinking, and so, and we have people that have a very wonderful logical thinking, concentration, and so, but they can't move. So as teacher, we have to do a balance about what we propose, and we have to give a lot of things for to touch emotional part of the body in link with the music. And we have to give a lot of exercise to maintain coordination, memory, logical, and so. This is for me one thing very important to know when we will start this kind of lesson with old people. We have to have a balance with different kind of people, but the most important, I think, it's to share love and music.
Thank you so much. So inspiring, so beautiful to hear your energy and your passion. Françoise.
Well, yes. I just want to react about what Anne-Claire said. I think that the spontaneous accompaniment of music, like improvisation, is essential. I totally agree. What I would say is I saw in Kayo's video that when she plays, she has someone else, maybe a student or a Dalcroze person, who is really helping and showing the movements to everyone, which is wonderful. My little experience, because I only gave 3 lessons yet, and my 4th lesson is today, but is that if nobody can help me and I have a group of people with really strong cognitive problems, it's impossible for me to go to the piano. Let's be honest. It's just impossible. So what I'm doing is I will stay today with them because Chantal, who is here, won't help me today. So I have to be there with them, and I will sing, and I will talk, and I will talk with rhythms and with expression, and I will just try to improvise with my voice because I have no other solution at this time. So this is just something I wanted to say about improvisation. It's of course wonderful if we can be two for teaching this kind of people, because they don't react right now. They need some stimulation. They need someone to come to them and to so it's quite difficult. And the double tasks that we are often speaking about in teaching elderly people, it's something that in the group that I have is at the beginning right now totally impossible. We have just to start trying to make an activity like maybe stepping with our feet or clapping, and maybe stop when I stop singing and resume when I resume singing. That will be maybe what we can do right now. For the visual aspect, it's so interesting because I do also movements, as I saw in Kayo's video, and they react wonderfully. And they really can, one side, the other side, it doesn't seem to be a problem. But then if I ask them to stand up and to walk, well, many of them won't stand up, which is fine. But if I want them to find a partner, or for those who can walk, to go to those who are sitting, it's going to be quite difficult because I think they don't have so much the awareness of who is there also, in the group. So, well, this is more a question for me because I have not so much experience, but I wonder, I hope, but I hope they will find a way to connect, and that I will find some ways also to help them connect. But that's another aspect of it. That's it for now. I thank my
You-
colleagues also for their wonderful informations.
Thank you so very much. Thank you to all three of you for sharing. Between the three of you, such a diversity of information and ideas and your feelings about it. And but also we see this beautiful connection of how important this work is. If anyone has thoughts, comments, questions, experiences to share, now's the time.
I just want to start by saying again, thank you to all three of you for sharing. It's so wonderful to see. We should note what should be obvious, but just so that we've said it out loud, there isn't just one older person. The range of abilities, physical and mental and emotional and social abilities are really very, very wide. And so we have older adults who are brilliant and agile and healthy and can jump and do crazy things, and run marathons and do just amazing things. And then we have actually much younger people, people, we know people in their 50s who are hunched over and shuffling and not very clear. And so there can be quite a range. And so at Carnegie Mellon, we've hosted some older adult classes every summer. And the certain crowds that seems to attract are mostly really quite clear and together and generally healthy. But you can just go across the street and teach another group of older adults, and they're all with walkers and wheelchairs, and really struggling to be aware of their surroundings. And so it's a very, very wide range of what is possible, and will have to, of course, be adjusted for whoever you're working with, just so that we've said it out loud. There is no such thing as older adults as one crowd. There is many, many crowds. So thoughts today? Any questions for any of our presenters, or just comments on what you saw? We have about 15, 18 minutes. Sky.
Hello everyone. So I'm looking for just comments and help perhaps from people. I'm teaching a seniors class. I've been teaching it since the summer, but the situation is sort of like Stephen was saying. So it's at a senior center where people just can come and do activities, and so it's 55 and up, and people can sign up for the class and be presumably be there, or they can just drop in. And so sometimes I have people who attend regularly, and sometimes it's no one, and sometimes it's a bunch of people I haven't met before. So trying to figure out what I'm going to teach is challenging. And then I sort of settled into a routine, but like I said, the people kind of keep changing as to who is there. But I will say the one thing that's awesome is the space is huge. I have this big, beautiful, wonderful space. But anyway, looking for what are your suggestions or comments to with that? And the class is an hour long.
And Claire, do you maybe have any ideas if the community is changing?
Yeah, so I think for this, I'm not sure, but it seems to be for this kind of situation, maybe we have to follow first something very simple. So like exercise to say hello, to move in the space, to keep the to put the situation very joyful and so, and then you have to adapt about what you see to put the exercises further or to progress in the difficulties. But I think what is important is the link between people that are here, so they can feel welcome and they can feel in link all together and with the music. And for me, when I have this kind of situation, it's very often, but sometimes it could be. I think it's better to go very progressively, to put the is essential of this Dalcroze way. And even people weren't here the week before, they can be in the lesson, I think. I don't know if it's clear.
It's very clear. Thank you. I'll just add, I feel anxious sometimes if I repeat too many things, but generally I think repetition is usually better than it is worse, even though I think I'm supposed to always be innovating and being something brand new all the time. There's a certain kind of comfort that comes with, oh, I know what this is, I've done this before, and so there's no shame and certainly no harm, probably only benefit in having a couple stock things that you do. And then maybe if it's a repeated crowd, you can look for a variation on it. But starting with something, maybe multiple things that like, no, these are our first 2 or 3 or 5 things that we often do. And then maybe if the room has done it before, looking for ways to innovate or make variations on those themes. Other either answers to Sky or new questions? Yeah. Hey, Emma.
Hey.
Our co-host Emma Shubin from Luxembourg, everyone.
Hey, friends. I had the joy of getting to work with Lisa Parker for several years with her seniors class, and she had this vision of doing like kind of a little certificate of working with seniors, and so I would go quite regularly with her. And one of the things that I noticed that worked really well, that I tried my best to imitate in my work with seniors, was we've always finished with a musical moment that was something that might be something recognizable that they could all sing or they could enjoy listening to. So sometimes she'd invite me to bring my flute, or we would do an activity with stockings or something stretchy where we were just moving and enjoying a piece of music that they may have heard or that feels like something that's a real sound, like encompassment of sound around them. And I saw that was something they really looked forward to, that we had this kind of piggybacking on what Stephen was saying, of this kind of ritual of how we would finish our class. One of the things I noticed also was an adjustment, of course, depending on what was needed for seated versus standing activities. But we almost always played an on-off kind of game as a switch for hands and feet. So she would give a verbal cue. So hands would mean they would start clapping. And then if she said the word hands again, she would turn the hands off. And then the same thing would happen for the feet. So there was this kind of cognitive game that she would play beautiful music to, and they adored, because it was hard. It was hard for anybody. And I've used it in lots of different contexts with different ages and levels, but that stuck with me, that this use of our cues that we have in our Dalcroze world is so unique and can be so much fun and also challenging. And then I would say the thing that we never got tired of doing also was, and yet she was delicate with, was like practicing walking in different ways. So she would do this with more mobile classes, but practicing gently walking on the outsides of the feet versus the inside, versus a heel versus a toe. And she usually warmed that up with holding onto the back of a chair first and just practicing a little bit to be careful of balance and such, because she was kind of pushing this idea of healthy brain development, healthy kind of brain gymnastics aspect of staying young. And that there was always something that they got to do together, whether it was mirroring each other with kind of phrases, that really was joyful for them. And I have such vivid memories of those classes. That was some of the favorite parts of my license work that I got to do. So I just wanted to share those with you.
And Claire?
Yeah, I just want to say that we have to be convinced that we can give a rhythmic even people don't walk. And I know we have a lot of people. They are very healthy. They're very able to walk. But for me, what is interesting is to know that we can give this kind of Dalcroze lesson to people that don't walk. And I think this is a way to follow, because it's very different, but this is very lovely and very precious for these people. This is just what I want to say, that the experience of Dalcroze with people that don't be able to walk, it's extremely moving and precious for these people. Just this.
Thank you. That's such important words and things to keep in mind, how we can bring an inner feeling of motion to anybody, whether they are walking on their legs or sitting in their chair. Emma, I just want to make sure I say, if no one else has compiled the seniors kind of learning from Lisa, that really should be a future project for you. You know, you should be pulling together as many of those lessons and ideas and memories into some sort of memoir or guide or something like that. We should figure that out. That's super valuable in 20 ways. We have 10 more minutes. Francoise.
Well, it's more a question about very practical things. If you have someone sitting, but who can walk with a déambulateur, with a help, you know, something. And how can I manage if I have many people around me, because there are maybe something like 15, 18 people. And if I have, let's say, 3 or 4 of them who have this and who could stand up, and I would like them to be able to go behind their chair and to hold themselves on something solid, because this thing is not very stable. So that they can still do some physical exercises and also swaying and bending their knees. How do you just organize that? How do you do that? You need help, or you need at least to have space around each chair so that the person can go behind her chair or his chair. And I don't know if there is any tip that you have that could help me.
I'll just say that in our summer classes, Leslie Upchurch in New York City comes to Pittsburgh every summer and teaches with us, and she usually leads those classes. And her sort of standard routine is everything starts seated. So everybody, no matter how able-bodied they are, the class begins seated. And so she does things seated with hands and maybe moving of feet, but not standing. And then she looks for ways to stand. And so if there's someone with a walker, they need to be, you know, there's a question. I'm sure she begins by saying, there's lots of ways to do these exercises, and you should not stand or do anything, you know, that is not safe if it is not safe for you. But if someone's able to get to their walker or to the, you know, the thing they hold on to, then they might do things there, but very quickly they try to get themselves behind the chair and they do things holding onto the chair. So the walker would be a way to get around to the back side of the chair and then hold on to the chair, and they do things in place standing, which, by the way, is very similar to how I think of introducing big body movement to children as well. We do things in place, we do things standing in place before we would start taking steps away from our home base. You know, so we're trying to, it's a similar or identical theory. Do things standing at their chair, and then she often does things where you travel to the next chair. So you were on your one chair, and now we walk just to the very next chair, and now we're at that chair, and now we walk to the very next chair. And then I think she's looking for ways where maybe some people are in the room and other people stay with the chairs, because some people should not be walking freely without their walker, and other people. So some people can and some people don't. Other thoughts?
Yes, it just implies that you have enough space around.
Yes.
That's it. So if I have not enough space, I will just forget about that and remain seated. Thank you.
I wonder, is there enough space that I don't know, is there a way to get us, I don't know, I'm sure you can figure it out. I'm thinking like, could there be a second chair, or like if they could just stand where they are, maybe they could grab the chair in front of them where the person, like if the chairs were, instead of a circle, maybe the chairs were in a grid and you could stand and grab the chair in front of you. I don't know. I'm sorry, there was a hand I interrupted. Emma?
Well, no, Francoise, I was just thinking that sometimes we would pair people with walkers with people without walkers. So you had a person who could be your buddy and help you stabilize. And that was some of the mirroring and work then would be both people holding onto that walker, but then the person who's more able-bodied would be supporting the one who needs a little bit more stability. And so that would turn into this kind of partner thing. We had one space that was not quite enough, and we had a big variety of, like, it was half and half of the walkers versus the not.
Great.
Okay.
Jerison, was your hand up?
Yes. Hi. Thank you everyone for sharing. Just when Francoise was talking about being at the piano and not being engaged, I really totally feel her when in this situation. And there was a time when I brought just a little keyboard to a senior center to do a demo class with the seniors there. And I thought that with the keyboard it's much better than with the piano, because with the keyboard I can sit in the circle and place the keyboard, and when the ball passes to me, I can still play with one hand and pass the ball sometimes. So that helps in connecting, being part of the circle, but yet providing the music. Of course, singing it is another good alternative, or using small percussion instrument. But I thought that having the keyboard in a small keyboard in front while you're in the circle, it helps quite a bit. Yeah, so I thought just to share with that. And I have a question for Kayo. Kayo, you mentioned about the training for Telcros teachers for seniors, and the targeted group is Telcros license. I understand that is very much there are many license holders in Japan, so that is possible. For example, Singapore, where I am, we don't have many license holder or certificate holders. Have you experience working with music therapists or senior caretakers who have music backgrounds, so they actually have some musical experience, and they have experience in gerontology or with senior care, but they do not really have Telcros qualification. How do we go about the training, if you have any ideas, or anyone have ideas working with non-Telcros license holder, if we want to have this program going on, for example?
Mm. Maybe I don't understand. Your question is.
Il te demande si, comment toi tu as beaucoup de personnes qui ont des licences, mais lui,
Oui, au Japon, oui.
à Singapour,
Parce
il n'a
qu'à
pas
Singapour,
beaucoup de
chez
temps.
moi, on n'a pas
Oui,
beaucoup
ça, j'ai
de...
compris, oui.
Oui. Donc, est-ce que vous avez travaillé avec les musiques thérapeutes, par exemple, pour éduquer? Parce que si les gens, par exemple, les personnes qui est à nursing school, qui a aussi l'expérience avec les seniors, et ils ont aussi les capacités musicales, si c'est possible de travailler avec eux, parce que chez moi, à Singapour, on n'a pas beaucoup de licences. En fait, il y a aucune.
In the moment, I don't have this experience.
Okay.
Yes, because I want to give a training for appliquer Dalcroze method for the elderly. So
Mm.
I need to someone who have Dark Rose license.
Mm.
So if I believe I have it right, that in Japan, Keio is not only teaching these classes, but she's teaching others to teach these classes, and they're earning a credential in Dalcroze with older adults. And so there's a specific training. So the newsletter that she shared, or the curriculum pamphlets that she showed us the pictures of, that's part of that larger initiative where they're actually training people very specifically with examinations to be able to sort of have a certificate or an accreditation working Dalcroze with seniors. For the rest of us around the world, there's maybe nowhere or very few. I think in Geneva there's more thoughtful training for this, but almost nowhere else. And it's just left to all of us individuals with our individual sort of crowds. I mean, Jerison, I know you know this answer, which is that if you are the one Dalcroze teacher, in hundreds of miles and you are looking for help, really the only thing to do is to try to find people who will come and work with you. Let them see what you do, let them understand the power of the work that we are doing, and encourage them to pick up some of your tricks and work with you, but then also then search out greater training, with any of the training centers around the world.
Yes, because right now in Singapore, there are a lot of music therapists coming up and they are very interested in doing this senior work. And I'm just wondering if anyone has worked with music therapists, because they understand working with seniors and they have musical ability. It's just that they are not trained in Dalcroze. Yeah.
Maybe you're going to be presenting in a few years about the training program you developed, Jerison.
Okay, I will think about that.
No,
you
but
should.
really, if you want to, we could do like a meetup where we just have a brainstorming session for you. You
Yeah.
bring this question and everybody comes and we just kind of help brainstorm ideas for you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, just to point again to Emma talking about her experience with Lisa Parker, there's so many people in the room who have real life experience doing these things. And quite often, one of the biggest hurdles between it just being something I did once with a master teacher a long time ago and turning it into something that we can share with others is just the task of organizing it. We just got to get some steps written down. Then that gives us the ability to sort of make use of the classes that you're already teaching as laboratories, as examples. And then all of a sudden people, for instance, from music therapy would have something they could go, oh, I mean, that's a thing I can do. Well, right now in Pittsburgh, there is nothing for the music therapy to do. They don't have a program to enlist or to sign up for, even if they're intrigued by some of the teaching that we've been doing. Oh my gosh, this is how the VDM goes. So if you're new, you should know it's always this good. It's every time we meet, it's this exciting and interesting. We have such wonderful friends who come from all around the world to join us. And we never have enough time to say all the words. What we hope to accomplish is to get us thinking, to make some friends, and maybe there was something said today that will encourage you to reach out to Keio or to Anne-Claire or to Francoise or anybody and keep the conversation going. So I hope that that today we learned a couple things, and I hope that everyone will come back to the upcoming meetups, masterclasses, and short courses. If you go to virtualdalcroze.org and click on the calendar, you can see everything that is coming, and we would love to
I'll
see
just
you.
say one thing about the upcoming masterclass with Adriana. That's our next event to sign up for. Adriana has a background in architecture and art. And so she's going to be bringing that in addition to her beautiful musicianship as a Dalcroze teacher. And I was emailing with her about her presentation, about her masterclass, and she shared so many beautiful pieces of visual art and about getting us improvising and creating and responding and just kind of widening the scope of our teaching through this connection to visual art. And she has some things with graphic scores she's going to do and planning and plastique. So I think it'll be a very kind of creative and imaginative and opening kind of masterclass. whatever you are teaching or studying or working on, to bring some inspiration to that. So hope to see you there.
We would love to see you there. Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna stop the recording.
You.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.